5 seconds after what should have been the ultimate celebration, Connor Zilisch's moment of triumph turned into one of the most shocking scenes you'll ever see in NASCAR. The 19-year-old rising star, fresh off a breakthrough win at Watkins Glen, climbed onto his car in victory lane, a moment every driver dreams of. The crowd was roaring, cameras flashing, and the adrenaline was electric. But then, disaster struck. His foot caught in the window net, and before anyone could react, Zilisch lost his balance. He fell headfirst off the car, slamming hard on the ground in front of thousands of stunned fans and millions watching at home. The cheers turned into gasps. Medical teams rushed to the scene, and for a moment, time seemed to freeze. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not here. Not now. The impact was brutal. His helmeted head bounced off the pavement, the harsh crack echoing through the speedway. It was a harsh reminder that racing isn't just about speed or skill. It's about danger lurking in every corner, every moment. As the medics hurried to his side, the uncertainty gripped the fans and the NASCAR community alike. Was this the end of a breakout season or the beginning of a story about resilience and comeback? As it turns out, it was a defining moment for both the young driver and the sport. Connor Zilisch's season up to that point had been nothing short of remarkable. Before that terrifying fall, Zilisch was tearing through the NASCAR ranks like a force of nature. Just a few weeks earlier, he'd pulled off one of the most impressive victories of the year, showcasing fearless driving and precision far beyond his years. In a sport dominated by experience, he was turning heads at just 19. Multiple wins, consistent top finishes, and a style that mixed aggression with intelligence put him on everyone's radar. Watkins Glen wasn't supposed to be just another race. It was meant to be a crowning jewel, the perfect stage for a breakout superstar to cement his place among NASCAR's elite. But racing is a game of split seconds and razor-thin margins. One misstep, one unforeseen slip, and everything can change. For Zilisch, his fall in victory lane wasn't just a physical hit. It was a symbolic jolt that shook his momentum and reminded everyone just how unforgiving the sport can be. Victory lane is supposed to be a sanctuary of celebration, but that day, it became a stark reminder of how quickly fortune can flip. It was a moment that would haunt the headlines for weeks and spark intense conversations about the pressure on young drivers, the risks they take, and the fine line between glory and disaster. The immediate aftermath was tense. Zilisch was rushed to the hospital, and while scans thankfully ruled out severe head trauma, the diagnosis of a broken collarbone was a significant blow. For a driver on the rise, every race counts. Every lap lost is points lost, and in NASCAR's grueling playoff system, points are everything. But beyond the physical injury, the fall cast a shadow on Zilisch's season. Would he bounce back? Could he regain the trust of his team, his fans, and perhaps most importantly, himself? The road to recovery is never just about healing bones. It's about reclaiming confidence and composure. To truly understand the gravity of that moment, you have to rewind to the start of Zilisch's season, a story of rapid rise, raw talent, and high expectations. Before the fall, Connor was on fire. His aggressive style on the track was turning potential into performance. Wins came at a pace that impressed veterans and analysts alike. But with aggression comes risk. It was a tightrope walk, pushing hard enough to win but controlled enough to avoid catastrophic mistakes. And for a rookie with such a fearless approach, the margin for error was thin. But the pressure cooker of NASCAR doesn't wait for anyone. At Iowa Speedway, just weeks before the Watkins Glen victory, Zilisch made a move that turned heads for all the wrong reasons. Racing 3 wide into turn 1, a risky gamble even for seasoned pros, Zilisch dove inside aggressively, trying to carve out a path. The car got loose, just a fraction too much, and chaos erupted. He clipped his teammate Ross Chastain's front left, sending Chastain spinning into Justin Allgaier. The wreck shredded the hopes of a dominating JR Motorsports finish, dashed playoff points, and forced Dale Jr., team owner and NASCAR legend, to speak out bluntly. "You don't go 3 wide under your teammates at Iowa without nailing it perfectly," Dale Jr. warned on his podcast, cutting no slack for the rookie's miscalculation. This incident wasn't just about lost points or a wrecked race day. It was a fracture in trust inside a championship-caliber team. In NASCAR, teammates rely on each other for drafting, strategy, and defense. When one driver takes out another, especially during the playoffs, it's not just a mistake. It's a rupture. Zilisch apologized immediately, owning the error publicly, but the damage went beyond words. The question became, could he mature fast enough, learn patience without losing aggression, and keep his team intact? Despite that Iowa setback, Zilisch stormed back. showing the kind of resilience that few rookies possess. His victory at Watkins Glen was a statement. It proved he could learn, grow, and execute at the highest level. But then came the fall in victory lane, a shocking moment that underscored just how thin the line is between triumph and disaster in NASCAR. His slip wasn't just physical, it was a symbolic stumble on the stage where drivers become legends. It shook fans, teammates, and critics alike. And yet, that's what makes racing so compelling. It's not just about crossing the finish line first, it's about how you get back up when the world watches you fall. History is littered with stars who burned out because they couldn't handle the pressure, the risks, the relentless demand for perfection. Then there are those like Zilisch, young, talented, flawed, whose journeys are about fighting back from setbacks, using every challenge as fuel. Behind the scenes, the impact of that fall rippled through the garage. JR Motorsports was counting on Zilisch to lead a multi-car charge into the playoffs. His crash at Iowa had already raised questions about consistency. The victory lane incident intensified the pressure. The team needed their rising star to be fearless, but measured, aggressive, but precise. The fragile chemistry of a winning team hinges on trust and timing, two things that can shatter in an instant. But there's more to the story than just the fall or the wreck. It's about the larger narrative of NASCAR's next generation. Drivers like Zilisch are racing in a sport that's evolving fast, with new talent, new technology, and new challenges. The old guard is still there, seasoned veterans who've battled through decades of racing. But the newcomers are pushing harder, faster, smarter. They're rewriting the playbook on what it means to be a champion. That's why moments like Zilisch's victory lane fall are so important. They reveal the human side of a sport that often feels like pure machine and metal. They remind us that behind every helmet is a person balancing on the edge of greatness and disaster. And for Zilisch, the fall was a test, not just of his body, but of his character and spirit. His recovery wasn't just about healing bones, it was about regaining composure and focus. Zilisch hit the gym, studied his mistakes, and prepared mentally for the battles ahead, because in NASCAR, the season doesn't pause for injuries or setbacks. The playoff clock keeps ticking, the competition keeps coming, and every driver knows you either adapt or fade away. Looking ahead, Zilisch's challenge is clear. He has to blend the fearless aggression that wins races with the patience and control that wins championships. The window net incident in victory lane is a stark lesson in how quickly victory can turn to disaster, but it's also a reminder that real champions are forged in moments of adversity. Dale Jr.'s public warnings, the Iowa wreck, the Watkins Glen fall, they're all chapters in the same story. A story about a young driver on the edge of superstardom, wrestling with the immense pressures of NASCAR's toughest stage. It's about talent meeting maturity, speed meeting strategy, and courage meeting caution. As the playoffs approach, all eyes are on Zilisch. Fans want to see if he can rise from this fall stronger than ever. Can he keep his edge without crossing the line? Can he lead JR Motorsports back to championship contention? And maybe most importantly, can he turn the painful moment in victory lane into the defining moment of his career? One thing's certain, NASCAR is watching. The fans are watching. And so is history. Because in this sport, the difference between glory and heartbreak is often just a single moment. Connor Zilisch's story is far from over. And if the past few weeks have shown us anything, it's that sometimes the biggest falls can set the stage for the greatest comebacks. So buckle up, stay tuned, because this season's drama is only just getting started. And the rising star who took a hard fall might just be on his way to rising higher than ever before.